Hello everybody and welcome back to the Wild at Heart. We set off on our adventure in the last video and all things considered, a lot happened in that 20 minutes, so we are still making our way through the beginning of this game and we have some more tutorial coming up, so I haven't moved from where I last left off. And obviously we need to take care of these leaf piles. We've got something in there. One of our Spritelings, in fact. So this specific Spriteling is called a Twigling. And they're able to pick up resources, break down walls, attack enemies, and you can also throw them if you need them to go somewhere that you can't reach. They are very quick, they're immune to toxic gas, and they can also make things grow. So, if you have ever played Pikmin and you are a fan of Pikmin, then this game will be right up your alley because essentially that's what this boils down to, is that the Spritelings are like Pikmin, and we are going to run across different types of Spritelings. So the Twiglings are what we're going to be using for the first little while. It's going to be quite a while before we meet any other ones that we can use. But you can see here that these mushrooms are giving off some toxic spores. The only way that we can get through here is if we send the Twigling over just to clear our way. So I'm gonna pick up the immediate scrap in my area. I already have the 200 pieces of scrap that I need. We will save our game at campfires. This game has really excellent auto-saving. So if you don't make it to a campfire and you need to quit, I wouldn't worry too much about losing too much of your progress. It also will let you access the last 3 backup autosaves before you saved your game, so you don't miss out on much in this game, which is really nice and something I very much appreciate. It is also giving us the prompt here to open up our map, which is something I haven't gone over yet. Our map is actually fairly detailed, so you can see now that we are in the undergrowth, and there are a few icons on the map that are already uncovered for us. So there's these logs, which we will come back to at a much later date, the vine wall that we climbed, and it will also show areas that you can jump down. So this indicates that we can only go down and not back up the way that we came. And then as we go along, there are going to be a lot more markers and such that I can point out to everybody. Scrap heap should be just beyond that huge boulder. Great. The Twiglings must have moved it. Well, they can move it back. You can direct your Spritelings to move heavy objects, but you'll need a fair few of them to do it. Explore the undergrowth and gather more Spritelings. Alrighty. So we'll come across large objects like this. This is actually quite a small boulder. We will come across many different objects along the way, but if you want to see how many Spritelings that you need, you can just go up to it and it will tell you the exact number. So obviously we need to round up 2 more of these little guys in this area. So we'll head south first, I guess. This whole area kind of just wraps around. And we will pick up our next couple of Spritelings. And these enemies here, if you want to, you can just ignore them, but we might as well fight them. All you have to do is just throw your Spritelings in their general direction, and they will fight enemies for you. Obviously, the more Spritelings you have, the more effective that they are. And I was also helping there by kicking, so you can get yourself involved in the fights as well, but just be warned that you do have health on the top left part of the screen there, and we don't want our health to drain. Obviously, currently we do have a health item in our inventory, so if you want to learn more about the combat system and how to fight enemies, then go ahead and give it a try. You will also see that I was picking up these little blue orbs, and they've now been added on the top right of our screen below our scrap. Those are called glint. They are a different type of currency, I guess you could call it. And we will be using that later on. Still not something that we really have to worry about at this particular time, but you get most of them by fighting enemies. So we basically just did a giant loop. If we check our map, we're basically just going to go right back to where we started, and there's not really much else that we can do in this area. We will be doing quite a bit of backtracking in this game, just because we will have more access to different types of Spritelings and abilities that will help us take care of some of the obstacles in this area. So don't worry too much about missing anything right now. If you're worried about collectibles or you're curious about areas, we will come back later. So for now, we're just going to move forward. We are now on the Forgotten Path. I'm just going to go around this enemy, I think. It is also always usually an option to run, by the way, which is something I didn't say, but don't feel like you have to fight every single enemy in this game that you come across. It isn't a bad idea just to get some extra glint if you want to, or if it's part of a quest, or if you have to, but for the most part, enemies in this game respawn pretty quickly, so sometimes it's just not worth fighting them. You can also, as you can see there, throw the Spritelings up there to destroy boxes that are out of your reach. And for now, we've got to jump down here. And we'll gather a few things before going into the center of the screen here. We have ourselves some mushrooms. I do not remember them being called poop fruit. I feel like that was an update thing that they changed when they did a few patches. Maybe it was always called poop fruit and I'm just not remembering correctly, but anyways, we've also picked up some loose parts. So this is basically just a big box of scrap, which we use for crafting and repairing. So there is a crafting system in this game, and we will get into it somewhat soon. And these boxes, I'm just getting the Spritelings to carry for me back to this center area here. And once we get close to the ringing telephone, we get to meet the tea kettle weirdo. Get away from my trove of riches. How came you upon this hallowed metal, oh tiny unwrinkled old man? I'm not an old man, I'm 12. Ha! 12 is a number. Numbers can't be people. Nice try. I'm trying to find someone. Scrap heap? A man named Greycoat gave me this crystal, and these little yellow guys helped me move this big rock, and... Crystal, you say? So it is true, then. Greycoat said that he found a potential new recruit. New recruit? To what? I am Scrap Heap, master builder and tinkerer for the Green Shield Order of these deep woods. Oh, I'm Wake. I'm something of a builder myself. Wake, you say? That doesn't sound like it should be a name. How intriguing. Do you know where I could find Greycoat? Indeed. However... Yes, safe. At the camp, indeed. Who are you talking to? Is that Greycoat? Russell said that. Ha! How droll. Yes, tomorrow would be best. I agree. Ta. Apprentice. The day's light fails. We will not make it to the next camp in time. We must stay here through the night. Rest now if you can. I'll keep a watch, most vigilant. Why do you not rest? Is there something on your mind? So we have an opportunity to ask some questions. He will probably explain it a little bit better than I will, so why don't we just go through and ask about the green shields. Our order, of course, protectors and stewards of these deep woods. We protect the various creatures that dwell here, as well as mend the border to your world as needed. But you can use, like, magic and stuff? Why, of course. Can't you? Not that I know of. I'd wager you're more capable than you think. As with all skills, some individuals are quite more adept than others. Greycoat, for example, is likely the most capable among us. Although he's never quite been the same since he lost that other coat. And I guess, if we're curious, we can also ask Scrap Heap a little bit about himself. Scrap Heap. What's your, real name? Scrap Heap is my name. No, I mean, what was your name when you were born, that your mother gave you? Never had another name that I can recall. I've always been Scrap Heap. Huh, okay. And Greycoat? Always been Greycoat, as with all the others. The others. Yep, alright. Yep, alright, well, we're just gonna roll with it. And we will go ahead and sleep for now. Do you want a PB&J? I could really go for a snack. PB and... Get in on this, I'm starving. Ooh, a jelly confection. Huh? What is this place? So this is a bit of a dream sequence here. These are always pretty straightforward. You just kind of follow the path. Wake. Dad? Good morning, Master Wake. How was your slumber? We can tell him about our dream. Worry not, we all have them here. Dreams of strange things, of ourselves leading odd and confounding lives. You become used to them, eventually. Oh, and I must beg your pardon, I couldn't help but notice your device. Yeah, it's my newest invention. What do you think? I think you're quite the genius. However, we may be able to enhance it if you care to, that is. Definitely. I even already have some plans I've been working on. Where do we start? Near this camp, there should be ample materials, quite literally just lying around. If you were to bring me 5 loose parts and 200 scrap, I believe I could augment the device in no time. Why don't you also hand off these plans of yours? I shall incorporate them in. Really? Cool, I'm on it. Alrighty, so our Spritelings are carrying a few things for us, and that is another one of their tasks. So if you have an item that you want them to carry that you can't fit into your inventory, for example, they will carry it, and then when you get close to a camp, they will drop it into your stash. So we have a stash box. This thing, to my knowledge, is very, very large. I don't know that it's unlimited, but you can really be a huge pack route and pack this thing full of stuff. So if you want to pick up lots and lots of things on your way, feel free. As opposed to our inventory right now, starting out, we only have 6 slots worth of space, which is not a whole lot. So for the time being, we're pretty much just going to pop everything into the stash box. I will probably keep my food on hand just in case I need it for something. And then what we're going to do now is just go around this area and find a few things. We actually already have what we need in order to be able to upgrade, which is why I was gathering all of those boxes and such earlier. And I didn't do any off-screen grinding or anything, and I was easily able to get over 400 pieces of scrap, no problem. So I think, actually, I've gotten pretty much everything that I can. For some reason, I thought that I could do a little bit more, but we have what we need. So all of the things that I put into my stash count. You don't have to have them on your person. So let's go ahead and give this to Scrap Heap, and he will increase the power of our Gustbuster. So we can use the regular low power to collect small things like we have been doing. We can recall our Spritelings and affect lightweight obstacles, but now we have the ability to use high power, which will suck up heavier objects like resources, Spritelings, and to pull down trickier obstacles. There we are, one enhanced Bust Guster. Awesome, it's way more powerful. All in a day's work. Now I must secure a payload from last eve. If the Spritelings haven't scattered it across the woods, that is. I will move on to the next area where my camp proper awaits. I thought this was your camp. I have set up several stations throughout the deep woods to be able to craft as well as safely avoid the night. During your time here, you may well have to do the same, tiny one. But worry not, the woods are nigh harmless under the sun's resplendent gaze. Just don't mistake a gumplop's placid countenance for kindness. Ta for now. Alright, so basically at this point, we're gonna have to follow Scrap Heap, and now that he's upgraded our Gustbuster for us, we are able to do that. But we have done quite a bit. Talking slows me down a little bit. There is quite a bit of dialogue to go through, but we will be able to just kind of play and act on our own for this next little bit, so we will return next time and continue on. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.